Yeah, in the spirit.
Oh yeah. I'm loving the song. I'm really loving it.
Yeah.
The kind of song that puts you in the presence of the Holy Spirit.
And soothe your soul from that six goals that were scored, Hearts of Hope. So we totally understand.
All right, good morning.
Hello.
I hope you're enjoying the track as much as I am, as much as we are.
It's a beautiful song.
It's a beautiful song. Okay, so shall we get into the newspapers straight away?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
I'm starting with the Daily Graphic, and on the front page, accountable governance, deepen transparency. President charges MMDCEs. There's President Adodan Kwekufado has charged metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executives to work to deepen transparency and promote popular participation as well as accountability at the local level. So there was some orientation for MMDCs that have been confirmed. They happened at the Accra International Conference Center, and quite a bit of it was covered live. Or when the president was speaking, it was live on JoyNews. Well, you know, JoyNews, anything live that's happening, if you're tuned in, you're going to get to see it. So yes, so that story. And then there's a story that's of interest to me. African Union to buy 110 million Moderna vaccines. It's all in a bid to increase the availability of vaccines on the continent. And by the way, here in Ghana, we actually have some of the vaccines available. And so you're being encouraged to go out there and get it. At some point, we didn't have enough vaccines. And so we were sort of rationing or making it available to a specific target group. But now it's available. As the director of public health for the Ghana Health Service indicated last week on the show, you can go to any public hospital and you should be able to get the vaccine. So please go out there. The vaccines are there. Make use of them. Okay, moving on. Let's go to page 18, where we have this minority calls for suspension of special petroleum tax. It's a story that was on the news this morning. So they're making a number of demands. They're talking about the special petroleum tax. They want it suspended, but they also want the sanitation levy reviewed. And they're making the case that on the sanitation levy, it says, despite the introduction of the levy of 10 pesos per litre of fuel, the country continued to be engulfed in filth with poor management of garbage across the various towns and cities of the country. He therefore called for a review of the levy by resorting to the polluter pay mechanism, which was a more pragmatic way of managing waste. So they're not the only ones who have made this point. A number of people have suggested that we scrap a number of the taxes that we have because they really don't make sense. The minority also touched on toll, and they feel that toll should be put in a position to refine Ghana's crude oil. And they also want the finance minister to withdraw the nuisance taxes imposed on LPG. So yeah, all those ones. Moving on, Police Armed Forces Councils take office. So the Vice President, Dr. Mamadou Bawumia, is chairing the police and the Ghana Armed Forces Councils, which are inaugurated by President Nana Adodan Kwekufado. That was yesterday. Then we go to the center spread, and Parliament is back. So yesterday, Parliament resumed. And the Speaker is saying will ensure transparency in LGBTQI+ discussions. So they've gone ahead to say, the Parliament has gone ahead to say that the deliberations of Parliament on the anti-LGBTQI+ bill will be held in the full glare of the public. The Speaker of Parliament, Mr. Van Bagbeng, has said. So it's not just the plenary or when the issue comes to a vote that they're going to have live proceedings this time. They're saying that the committee conversations themselves will be live, and the people who have submitted memoranda and the conversations, all of that, is going to be live. Okay. Ochihene advocates reduction, still in the center spread. Ochihene advocates reduction of poverty to achieve SDGs, and Algerian Japanese envoys bid president farewell. Shatawale Medical, 3 others granted 100,000 cedi bail each. So Shatawale Medical, they're out on bail now. And then Saglemi, $200 million Saglemi housing trial. Collins Dada, 4 others appear before a new judge. So a new High Court judge, Justice Elfrida Emidenchi, has taken over the case involving a former Minister of Works and Housing, Alhaji Collins Dada, and 4 others, facing 52 counts of causing financial loss of $200 million to the state over the Saglemi affordable housing project. And moving on, check out the other stories in the daily graphic. Okay, looks like we probably may be heading. Okay, Graphic Nation Media to deepen ties. And the miners resist proposal to pay new levies. Miners are bright. The fact that the gold price has gone up does not mean that the mines will make higher profits. Have you considered their cost of operations? Okay. They have a point there. All right, and Uracare holds free breast screening at Graphic today at Abaraka Friday. So if you're interested in having your breast screened for free, so Graphic and Uracare, they're putting this together. And then Cocoa Program benefits smallholder producers. So that's fair trade saying that. AU Committee assesses Ghana's conflict triggers framework. And best referee to get new car as GFA launches 2021-22 season. And the Republic Bank donates 200,000 cedis to Black Stars. We thank them for that. You keep the monies coming in so that the Black Stars can perform a lot better. And on the back page, 2 arrested over killing of family head at Pram Pram. Read a bit of the story. So 2 persons have been arrested in connection with the killing of a family head yesterday dawn at Pram Pram in the Ningo Pram Pram district in the Greater Accra region. Nene Aye Otuse Krum, 57, the head of family of the Clay Chukunya clan, one of the clan houses in the Pram Pram traditional area, was shot dead by unknown assailants at Pram Pram. And woman jailed 6 years for faking her kidnap. And many are saying that the sentence is too harsh, that 6 years is quite a bit. But the court or the judge, in handing out the sentence, indicated that it's supposed to curb what appears to be a trend of fake kidnapping in Takrady. Apparently, it's happening quite a bit, and the people we've spoken with in Takrady also are saying the same thing. They think that there are too many of these, especially coming on the back of the lady who faked her pregnancy and kidnapping.
Yeah.
Right, so that'll be it for me for
the daily graphic.
For the daily graphic.
And of course, we'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the show.
Yeah, we will.
Yes, the fake kidnapping. Okay, so let's get into the Ghanaian Times this morning. Front page, Ghana's preparedness for earthquake. Auditing of public buildings set to begin. Osu Castle, Jubilee, Parliament House, others included. That's interesting. Okay, I'll revisit referendum to pave the way for election of MMDCEs president. You know, whilst they're auditing the public buildings, can they also spend some time, going around to the places that are built, the houses that are built on waterways, the houses that are built on hills with crumbling rocks and all of that? It almost feels as if those ones are actually more urgent.
Okay.
So for example, whenever you think about earthquakes and stuff, my mind straight away goes to the Kaswa Road, on the left, where there's those crumbling hills, the houses up there. There
used to be a quarry there, apparently.
Exactly. And I'm thinking, if there was a major earthquake, I think we spoke to a seismologist. Yes, a seismologist a while ago. And he had also raised some concerns about those areas. And the fact that already the hills, are very slowly crumbling when it rains.
So you don't even need a major earthquake. Any slight tremor.
Exactly. You know, so it would seem to me this is important, I guess, because I guess, you know, the government people are important, so we want to make sure that they're fine.
We are all important.
But the point that I'm making is that does it almost not make sense to actually start from the places that are of higher risk and start to put the measures in place? So if we need to do the reinforcement or the meshing or whatever, make sure that, okay, we're ready, you know, because honestly, the Jubilee House, like, what are the chances that it's not safe? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
I get you. So yes, I agree with you.
So yeah, I mean, it's good, but...
Well, otherwise, those other buildings that you're making reference to, if they have to, you know, evacuate the people or pull down the structures...
Yeah, are we going to wait for a disaster?
In fact, people are not supposed to be building in the first place.
Exactly. So we're going to wait for a disaster. So I would have liked the what's it called? Headline to read... Ghana's preparedness for earthquake. Auditing of buildings that are most at risk set to begin, including houses at Kaswa, Eburi, and other hilly places, as opposed to Osu Castle, Jubilee, Parliament House,
Okay.
But that's just my opinion, which I'm allowed to have, as well as my vocabulary, which is my vocabulary. I'll revisit referendum to pave the way for election of MMDCEs, as according to the president. Okay, let's move on. New judge takes over case. Okay, I'm not going to. Sorry. Shatawale, Jesus Ahofe, others granted bail. Every MP's position on LGBTQI. Why? To be known. Why? Do we know every MP's position on every bill?
Well,
I feel like, you know, doing this is compelling MPs to vote a certain way.
Well, not necessarily.
Yeah.
So whatever your position is, just let it be known, and that's fine, and then we'll move on.
Do that. This is politics.
Oh, how?
So even if you're against the bill, and the whole thing is being publicized, obviously you're not going to say it because you know that your constituents are against it. Like majority of Ghanaians say they're against it. So obviously they don't want to see their MP saying, you know, they're whatever. So I don't know.
Especially when the churches have indicated that if you vote for the bill, we'll come after you.
Exactly. So you know what I mean? Like,
well, not just the churches, the Muslim, I mean, apart from Christians and Muslims, they both.
So what it's doing is that it is going to prevent people from actually being truthful, about how they really feel about this issue. And if you are going to make it open, then open every voting. So that we all see, like when Ejapa was on the floor of Parliament, open it and let's see the arguments that led to, you know, it happening. Or when you're trying to decide who to give a 500 million Ghana cedi contract to, or whatever, open it so that we all see those who voted for and we all voted against.
No, okay, so but typically you see on most of the bills that go before Parliament, you see the minority taking a position and the majority also taking a position. So it is assumed that all majority members of Parliament vote in a certain way and all the minority members vote. But this one is one that it's not quite like that. This is one that it looks like it's going to be garnering a lot more bipartisan position. And I guess the Speaker feels that this should be overwhelming, because majority of Ghanaians are against it, are against LGBTQ.
Yeah, so let them vote and tell us what they said. Why do we? My point is not that I'm all for transparency. I mean, I think it's a good thing. I just feel like this is compelling people to vote a certain way because it's going to be so public. Otherwise, you become tagged as the person.
Not necessarily. But if you believe in your convictions, why don't you just stand up for it and say?
Because you have to weigh your convictions against whether you'll be voted for again at the next election. I mean, can we be realistic?
That's your wala.
Yeah, okay. I mean, clearly you can't relate to our pain.
I can't. Which pain?
Anyway, UN emissions report thundering wake-up call. National plans to cut carbon fall far short of what's needed to avert dangerous climate change. The UNEP analysis suggests the world is on course to warm around 2.7 C with hugely destructive impacts. So it's going to get hotter. And the problem with it getting hotter is that all the ice and stuff is going to melt.
Yep.
and then we're going to have real problems.
And people along the coast are going to have issues.
And did you know that actually, if all the ice melts, countries like the Maldives
will vanish.
Yeah. They'll go like underwater. We don't want the Maldives to go underwater.
And a major part of Accra is also below sea level. So if we have the, ocean levels rising, clearly we're going to have water coming.
Problems.
And most of Accra is going to be flooded. Yeah.
Okay. MP petition Speaker of a police.
But I don't know if people actually appreciate that. Global warming is an issue that affects not just the West, where they have all sorts of, crazy weather phenomena, but it also affects us here in Africa as well.
I think that if you go on the streets of Accra, I think maybe we should. Because I had a conversation, where did I go? I think it was at Budbushi or something, and I was talking to a friend about how hot it is, And one of the, actually a group of market women who were, heard me talking about global warming. And their response was, no, they heard me saying that it's very hot.
Yeah.
And there was like global warming. So I think
so they actually understand.
I think that in their minds, that the total and complete absolute effect of global warming is that it's going to get hotter.
Okay.
And it's already kind of hot.
Yeah.
So for us, getting hotter is like, okay, whatever, because we have hot seasons and then we have, when it's not so hot. But I don't think that the full idea of the fact that
it goes beyond the weather becoming hot.
Yeah.
Because it's going to end up being extremes, and then it's also going to affect farming because you're not going to get rain at the time that you're expecting, and when the rain comes, there's too much rain, and then it will destroy crops and all of that.
And then beautiful places like the Maldives are going to go underwater. We don't want that. Okay, let me go on.
The bougie people are worried about
we're not bougie, we're just dreamers. Mentor young women, girls in cybersecurity technology field. Chiefs urged, I love this. I absolutely love this. Who did this? DCOP Edward Kwarting, you're my hero this morning. I love you.
What's he done?
I don't know you, but I love you. He's a DCOP in charge of the Volta region. He says chiefs are being urged to desist from settling rape and defilement cases in palaces.
Okay.
So chiefs who thwart investigations into rape, defilement, and other criminal cases and settle them in their palaces will suffer swift and ruthless consequences. When a child is defiled, when a girl is defined or a girl is raped, and you settle it with the rapist by allowing him to pay a fine and putting him back into the community without punishment, without rehabilitation, all he's going to know is that this defilement costs 1,000 Ghana cedis, so I'm going to raise 5,000 Ghana cedis. I'm going to rape 5 girls. I'm going to be able to go to the chief's palace. I'm going to be able to pay it off, and I'm going to be able to live my life as is.
I get you.
So, fantastic. DCOP Edward Kwarting, you're my hero this morning. I absolutely love that. Can we stop settling rape and defilement cases at home? Can you stop allowing people to pay their way through this? We did a story on the Super Morning Show about a little girl who had been defiled over and over and over again by this man in the community. And this man, when he does it and she reports, he'll come and give, I think it was her stepmother, come and give the stepmother money, the community leaders money and all of that. And then he'll get away with it. And he had defiled like 6 girls.
Wow.
Because they always say, oh, Monko settle with fear. Monko, you can't settle it at home.
Yeah.
He has to go to
It's
court.
actually against the law.
He has to go to jail.
You can't settle crimes.
You cannot say, you cannot. I did in fact, DCOP Edward Kwarting is my new Chocho Mucho. I don't know him, but yeah. The old one was the president, but since people should build their own school things, I've broken up with him. I'll revisit referendum to pave the way. Hey, today I've talked about 6:56. Wow. I'm just going to go to the back page. 40 health environmental experts discuss the elimination of lead poisoning among children. Interministerial consultative workshop on implementation of Ghana's CSVM's opens in Accra. Thank you. That's it for me.
All right, so let me go to the Business and Financial Times. So CD to end 2021 at 6 cedis, 5 pesos. That's Data Bank saying that it's their projection, and it's most likely that the 6 CD 5 pesos that they're talking about will be the Bank of Ghana rate, not the Forex Bureau rate. And you know, the Forex Bureau rate is usually higher than the BOG rate. Court affirms ex-energy minister's directive on Afina Sankofa unitization. That story is on page 3 of the Business and Financial Times. Let me get to that. So a commercial high court in Accra has ruled that the former energy minister, John Peter Mewu, acted perfectly within the law when he directed the Italian oil giant's subsidiary, Eni Ghana, and Springfield Exploration and Production Limited to unitize their Sankofa and Afina operations. The court, in a ruling dismissing an application by ENI and Vitol Upstream Ghana for a judicial review of the directive by the minister, and said a careful reading of Section 34(1) of the Petroleum Exploration Act 919 of the year 2018 does not show that the Minister for Energy's directive violated the said provision of the law. It's an interesting court ruling. In fact, it's an interesting case, and I'm sure in the next few weeks it's going to play out. It's not going to end anytime soon. On the back page of the Business and Financial Times, Adansi Rural Bank inaugurates Asokwa branch, and AAG President Togbo Mensah passes. That's the Advertising Association of Ghana President Togbo Mensah.
Can I just do the entertainment page really quickly of the Daily Guide? Okay, 100,000 Ghana cedi bill for Shatawale Medical and 3 boys. I don't regret breaking up with Chris Atto Damilola. Oh, but that was a long time ago. Like, what is that? We have moved on.
It says she doesn't regret.
According to her, love is not enough, and that's the mistake a lot of prospective suitors make during courtship. She said the ultimate ingredient that binds partners together and makes them inseparable is not love. My marriage didn't work, but I learned a massive lesson from the experience, and it is that love is not enough.
And that what is?
She doesn't actually say what is, but we just know what is not. Yeah, I think we could have that conversation. Is love enough?
If you love, we go chop.
Is that what's love got to do? Got to do with it? Money makes the world go round, and I believe that I'm gonna go round for you. The way you do that, do you know that song?
Reggie Rockstar.
Yes, all right. Samini teams up with Efia Nocturnal on potential hit song Picture. That's it. But is love enough? I love that. Is love enough? Is it enough? Must you marry a man that you love? Or halt? What's the alternative?
Money, often.
Love, money. But also I think...
Love, money, or sex.
How long have you been married for?
Like 17 years.
So what do you think is like the most binding thing between the two of you?
I would say friendship.
Yeah. And of course the inconvenience of getting a divorce sometimes keeps you together. Sometimes keeps you together. I mean, I was married for 10 years. I think that, love is definitely takes more than love. But love is also very important.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll have that conversation a little later on.
I actually feel, anyway, let's hold on to that conversation.
We'll have it on Friday.
Yeah, we'll have that conversation on Friday.
All right. So my Joy Online this morning, Parliament's debate on anti-LGBTQ plus bill and MPs vote. Okay, it's been made public. All right. Takrade woman in latest fake kidnapping, jail 6 years. My employee became my landlord at a point in my career. CEO of WebSoft Solutions recounts. Alajo coup plot, you cannot travel to Kenya. Court declines Agozo's request. An indifferent MMDCE is not suitable for the job. Sudan army seizes power to prevent civil war. Coup leader. Thousands of youth chase security jobs in Kumasi. It's not everyone who can be an entrepreneur. CEO of WebSoft Solutions. NSMQ on Joy. St. Thomas Aquinas makes it to 1/8 stage with 49 points. All right. Who are you supporting in this year's NSMQ? Who do you think is going to take the cup? I'm sure the Gasco boys are going to start making noise very soon. But anyways.
There are 2 schools that my money is on, Ukwapman School and Accra Academy. What's funny?
The fact that Hearts lost their football match. That was funny. What else could possibly be funny this week? Anyways, that's us for the news review. We'll be back after this.